Mr. Bridenstine, is that a Bill Nye approved beverage you have there? I don't know. Diet Mountain Dew, that's a first.
I'm guessing not, but
He's shaking his head. So
Yeah.
I grew up on Bill Nye. So I'm a child of the 90s, so
Yeah.
I grew up on Bill Nye. Senator Young.
Thank you, Chairman. Thanks for our witnesses for being here, and good to see you again, Congressman. As many of you know, Indiana has deep roots within our nation's space exploration history. Purdue University likes to call itself, I think fairly, the cradle of astronauts. I was up there actually over the weekend with some family members, and you see a lot of banners. They advertise that to those who visit the community. They inspire many of us, including the students, with their 27 astronaut alumni, including Neil Armstrong, the first man on the moon, who was a Boilermaker. So this is, of course, an effort to boast about my state, but it's also to highlight the opportunities, I think, that many U.S. universities provide to our young scientists and our engineers. So as we look to reauthorize NASA, partially authorized through the CHIPS and Science Act, I'm proud to say, just a few years ago, I believe it's crucial to focus on implementing strategic investments in research to not only secure our STEM pipeline, but to maintain a competitive edge in scientific research and development, which will eventually lead to commercialization and deployment of new technologies to bolster our space exploration. Mr. Gold, thank you for your testimony and for highlighting the groundbreaking microgravity research that Redwire is advancing aboard the International Space Station. This pioneering work, the world should know, is anchored in Greenville, Indiana. It not only strengthens our state's economy, but it also underscores the state of Indiana's growing leadership in space innovation. Mr. Gold, could you speak to how space and biotech, also something associated increasingly with the state of Indiana, are converging, and share your vision for the future of microgravity research in Indiana and beyond?
Thank you so much, Senator. I believe you've been to our Greenville facility and even launches, and thank you for your support. We are at a point where microgravity and pharmaceuticals are coming together in a way that will transform both fields. In my opening comments, I talked about how we're printing meniscuses, how we're printing live cardiovascular tissue, bringing it back to the ISS, still live. At this most recent launch to the ISS, just a week ago, we launched liver cells, and we will print with liver cells. Drink all you want, Redwire's got you covered, we'll get you a new liver. So enjoy some of that good Kentucky bourbon. But think about it, I mean, we've all had friends who are on the organ donor list, probably, who have suffered or died. Not only can we change that paradigm, but because these organs would be grown with your own stem cells, we could avoid the painful and expensive angsty rejection therapies. Additionally, we have now flown 32 pillbox systems. These are growing seed crystals for drugs. Seed crystals are like a sourdough starter kit that we just need to bring down from space, a thimbleful of these seed crystals, and then they lead to drugs that, because in microgravity, the seed crystals form larger, more uniform. We get new versions of drugs, better efficacy, better longevity, and fewer side effects. We partnered with Eli Lilly. We flew a version of insulin. Lilly said those were the prettiest crystals that they've ever seen. This revolution is happening, so let's not turn around now and snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. We are about to move into an even larger facility in Indiana, so I appreciate the support and reassure you that the road to space goes through southern Indiana.
Well, it's great. It's a road with many arteries, so let me sort of end by being expansive here and inclusive. I think your testimony here today, Mr. Gold, illustrates how parts of our country that people wouldn't perhaps associate as important components to the space economy are ready to go. And they're on the cusp of achieving some amazing achievements scientifically engineering-wise, and by extension, that will benefit the economies, regional economies all around the country. So these continued scientific investments through the CHIPS and Science Act, by reauthorizing NASA, et cetera, are critical. And I say that to a lot of my colleagues, but I also want the administration to know it's okay to have a pause on research funding, but unless they present an alternative plan to fund some of these research projects that collectively benefit all of us and are not internalized into individual companies, then we're really going to be missing the boat. I would also say, just to add here, and now I'm over my time, but we do that in the Senate. I would also say that our adversaries aren't slowing down. Now, I received this, so it may be a little choppy here, about 30 seconds before I started speaking, but a little social media post pertaining to a comment that Vladimir Putin just made. This was overheard, as I understand it, by a Chinese state media broadcaster. And evidently, Vladimir Putin walking towards Tiananmen Square for a parade. His translator could be heard saying in Chinese, biotechnology is continuously developing. Translator added, after an inaudible passage by Putin to Xi Jinping, human organs can be continuously transplanted. The longer you live, the younger you become, and you can even achieve immortality. So these can seem like things that are abstract and removed from the daily lives, I know, of my own citizens, but they are here and now. And we don't want our adversaries to get ahead of us in these areas of science. So all of you are testifying to things that will continue to, that I know my constituents will find compelling and lead many of us to continue investing in these critical areas. So I thank you.
I appreciate, Senator, if I can make a plea, we will lose the momentum, if not these capabilities entirely, if we drop from 4 to 3 astronauts. And we need the Senate to stay on NASA and your excellent staff to make sure that we realize these commercial benefits and that America never, never drops below the number of Chinese in space.
Thank you.